Human civilization as a whole is now witnessing the connection of people everywhere on Earth through this web in ways that actually do mimic the growth of a human brain. And the analogy is imperfect, but it's also real. We are seeing the emergence of a global brain.
In this series, we've seen how important it is to study the impact of the web on all our lives. The web appears to give us all a voice and to level society. But we've seen that the ongoing cycle of this virtual revolution is also encouraging mega brands that track and trade us, and governments that can spin and spy as never before.
The way in which small groups of elites dominate in cultural, political, and economic terms. It reflects our values, our narcissism, our views, our obsessions.
Even as it opens up extraordinary new possibilities, the web is weighed down by the limits of our imagination, our desire to profit and control. The web holds up a mirror to human nature, the good and the bad. Yet in this film, we've seen the new generation not just reflected in the web, but maybe evolving with it. My hope is that the web will eventually show us new horizons, liberate humanity, and change human nature for the better.
Hopefully social change happens gently. The sort of thing which the internet brings by connecting people is openness and understanding of other people's ideas on a good day. So I hope we have a lot of those good days.
We have the knowledge of the ages gathered for us to browse in our pockets. And if we seriously think that's a bad thing, if we seriously think that's something we should turn our backs on or sniff at, then we really deserve a slapping. This is astounding technology, and we should just take a moment to celebrate the power and the reach that it gives us across time and across ideas and across continents, both past, future and present, to connect with people.
Perhaps the most amazing thing about this revolution is we've seen all of this profound change in just 20 years. This isn't the end, it's merely the beginning.
As we've just heard, around the world, many now view the internet as indispensable, and 4 in 5 adults say access to it is a fundamental right. That's the finding of a new global poll conducted across 26 countries for the BBC as part of a series that we're rolling out called Superpower. But one missing link in the internet revolution is Africa, with only 6% of its population logging on. 6. So what would happen if a village suddenly became connected? The BBC's Komla Damore has gone to Gitata, 2.5 hours north of the Nigerian capital, to find out.
The information superhighway doesn't run through Gitata, just this dirt road. Farmers and traders live here. They are poor but hard-working people. But in many ways, Gitata is cut off from the rest of the world. The town isn't even connected to the national electricity grid, and knowledge of the wonders of the web is patchy.
I don't have any idea what the internet is about.
Change their lives because they will be receiving information about the knowledge they don't have.
But step forward Nicholas and Moses. They've been chosen by the village to use 2 internet-enabled mobile phones. It was a democratic process of sorts. The chief, Sarkin Gitata, called the meeting, though no women were invited. And the chief secretary turned down the chance to go online, saying he wasn't web savvy enough. So how are Nicholas and Moses getting on?
I woke up one day to discover that the SIM in my mobile phone developed fault. I just saw in the screen written SIM card registration failed. And since then, I tried all I could to see that I used my mobile phone using the same SIM card, it failed. And this I felt very bad.
I was thinking as if I was alone, but now I found myself in the midst of people. The journey that would take me to America, I can find it. Any information, I can find it within the Gitata. So there is no difference between the city and the village now with this presence of mobile phone.
So it's clear, though the rest of the globe is plugged into the information superhighway, Gitata, like many parts of the developing world, is struggling to catch up. Komla Dumont, BBC News, Nigeria.
So adapting to the internet can be a bit of a challenge. Just try persuading a group of web-savvy users to live without it for even a week. In South Korea, it's a task that many would consider unthinkable. But the BBC's John Sudworth managed to find a few willing and intrepid souls to make that sacrifice. Here's how they fared.
Well, we'd like to thank you all very much.
It was never going to be easy. We called a community meeting.
Do we have any volunteers?
We knocked on doors and we stuck posters around our chosen tower block in central Seoul.
Cool. Only 4 more staircases to go.
But finally we did get our volunteers, the Yangs and the Kims. 2 families who all agree to live without the web for a week.
So this is it then, the modem without which this house becomes an internet-free zone. So let's give it to Mr. Song from Korea Telecom to take away with him. Thank you very much, Mr. Song. And let's ask the Yang family how they're going to cope without it.
It's going to be tough, she says, but we'll give it a go. South Korea has the fastest broadband speeds on the planet. Its people are hooked up to a torrent of information, transforming the way they learn, consume and socialise. So Mrs. Yum does most of her shopping online. With the internet cut off, it's back to the old-fashioned way. Mrs. Joe runs a web forum for school mums. Without it, she's having to meet them in the real world. And her son, a gifted computer programmer, has lost a vital study aid. Without normal access to online information, news and social contacts, our volunteers talk of a real feeling of isolation. But there's an upside too. Maybe this experiment will teach you to moderate your internet use, Mr. Kim tells his eldest son. Freed from their computers, our families find they're spending more time with each other.
So here we are then, day 7, reconnection day. And here's the nice Mr. Song from Korea Telecom again. Good to see you, Mr. Song. Let's go and put these people out of their misery.
For the Yang family, the experiment has led to a discussion about limiting internet use to just 30 minutes per person per day, although the children don't approve. Both families have now realised how much they rely on the web, and it's a relief to be back online. John Sudworth, BBC News, Seoul.